Hi, Surfer. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm a little cold, so I might
Yeah.
be adjusting my heater a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah, I was freezing here today too. It was 66 degrees. It was pretty
Ugh,
cold.
like I told Gypsy earlier, nobody likes the bragger. Oh goodness. No,
Uh,
we got about 6 inches of snow today, so it finally turned winter
Well, there you
here.
go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm pretty sure if we were to get 1 inch of snow, everything would come to a screeching halt.
Probably so, but
Like,
here it's
I doubt
not.
we even have like snow plows. We'd have to just wait for things to melt.
Yes, when I was living in North Georgia, we had snowfall, and Atlanta and the surrounding area closed for like a week. I'm not joking
Yeah.
because there was yeah. So that was
Well,
fun.
then nothing's buried very deep, so all your pipes would break.
Oh
It would
yeah,
just
you
be
guys, yeah.
a huge problem. So I was talking
Hmm.
to a guy earlier from on my day job, and he lives out in Tennessee, and all his pipes are frozen. So he's
But
like, "I can talk for a few minutes, but I gotta run. I gotta go see if, like, I'm having leaks everywhere."
well, I guess the pipes are buried, but like our um, telephone, our electricity, and our internet, everything is all wires above.
Yeah,
So maybe that's why we lose our power so much. I don't know.
that could be.
So you want to say hi to our guest? I'm actually
Yeah,
looking
let's
forward to
do
this
it.
conversation tonight. I really am. Hi, freaking awesome,
Freaking awesome. What's up?
Greg. You had some compliments from my host earlier. I'll have to share with you. West Texas Stacker. It's good to see you. West Texas Stacker won a quarter, but I haven't received an email from him to so I can mail it to him. Chew, Jamie Fox, you finally got the snow. Ghost watching, and I hope I didn't miss anybody. Did I
Welcome.
miss anybody?
I think we've got everybody on there. Let's see. I think that's everybody so far. So it's yeah, Nick, I don't know. It's been an interesting week for me, but I miss the snow. I don't have any snow down here, but I used to live in Utah, I used to live in Illinois,
Hmm.
used to live in New Jersey,
My
used to live
gosh,
in
you've
New
lived a
York.
lot of places in your lifetime.
We have lived all over the place. So the hardest snow to deal with is in Manhattan.
Oh
Uh,
well, yes, like you said, snow removal and
yeah, we
having.
lived at 50th and 8th, right around the corner from Times Square,
Oh
and
man.
there was a strike um, while we were there, both on garbage and snowplow
Oh wow, not a
for a
good
week.
time. It's not a good
No,
time.
it was insane. It was nuts. Like both of them made a huge problem, um, but
It's
this
8 degrees in Tennessee.
see, something's broken. That's not normal. That's really
But
bad.
and of course, this has been our first snowfall. I mean, we would have some snow and then it would be so warm and then we'd have all this rain. So, and the damage from the coast from the storms that we've been having, I'm talking, it was just a perfect storm. It was high tide just at the right time. So we've had a lot of devastation on our coast. But FEMA is coming in to help. So yay.
Oh, gotta love FEMA.
Gotta love them. We had Michael Stacking come in.
Michael,
Good to see
welcome.
you. Um,
Ohio's at 8 degrees as well. Yeah,
I
let's
think it's actually warmer here
yeah,
than it
well,
is there. And we got about 6 inches of snow today. Um, it's 25 degrees here and it's 8 degrees there. Hi, BTO.
look
Good to
at
see
this,
you.
Nick. That's the cold weather coming all the way down to past Prosper, Texas, all the way down to Houston, it looks like.
Wow.
21 degrees.
Wow. And I
That's
don't think they're
crazy.
used to all that. Hi everyone and
I don't
all,
think
and
so either.
Gunny's quarter deck. And now that I've got Gunny in here, I do want to show the Texas Joe rounds. Oh my gosh, you
Oh,
know
there
what?
you
I'm
go.
probably not gonna be able to find them. I was showing Gypsy Wolves earlier. Now I say that. What did I? Oh, here we go.
All right,
So
let's do this.
on the Coin Tribe channel, Gunny and they are selling these Texas Joe rounds. somebody that was very important to our community, and they're $30 a piece. And I'm going to have a mod put his email address in there, and if they want to pick one up, they're $30 a piece, and the proceeds will go to Texas Joe's wife.
That is a great idea.
Yes, they are, because he died unexpectedly. Nobody, everybody was shocked. And he was a great friend to a lot of us in the community, great mentor to me, especially on Morgan's. So, hi, Hampton Consultants, and greetings from the cold swamp. Thank you, Gunny. I appreciate it. So Gunny's email address is in the chat, and I'm going to continue to put his email in there so we can order some more. But I have 2 for giveaways for Saturday, Surfer.
I like it.
Yes. So we can take me off now. We don't need me up. But yes, so I purchased one for myself that's going to go on the thing that I'm going to have behind me. I'm not going to describe what that is. It's going to be a surprise. So I have one for myself, and then I have 2 to give away Saturday evening.
I like it.
Yes. Hi, Silva Wolverine and Ellie and OC Stacker. So, and Silver Wolverine is going to, hi, Amy. Did I hear you had a birthday as well, or am I imagining things? So SW is going to be there with us Saturday. And I'm hoping he'll share that. He said something, hi. I saw BTO. About was American Silver Eagle that was a fake, and it was in a PCGS slab. And somebody brought it to him today. So I want some more information on that. Hi, David. Thank you. Freaking awesome.
Nick, can I show him the thumbnail for your party?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, guys. So we're going to do this real quick. This is kind of fun. Check that out. So that is coming up Saturday.
That's going to be so fun. Fake PCGS slab. Oh, but the coin was fake though. And I don't recall what he said. It was something about 2022 and 2023. I'm just surprised he wasn't talking about the Morgans.
Was it a mistake for them grading, or did someone take it out of the case and try?
No, I believe it was somebody probably took it out of the case. I don't know. I don't know much information. I was just reading from what maybe he can give us more information. It's all fake, even the slab itself.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay, I thought I saw Gunny said something up here too, and I missed. Oh, thank you, Gunny. So we're going to be, you and I are going to be on at 8 p.m. Eastern Saturday, and then the 1K party and my birthday party, it's actually my birthday that day. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern.
It's going to be awesome. So we'll be on my channel to start off with, and we'll have a fun conversation. We're still deciding on what we're going to talk about, but we'll then go over to Nick's channel after that for her party. It's going to be great.
Yes. Yep. So we'll have some fun, and we'll have some special guest. And Gunny's going to be in a tux, black tie. And I'm just hoping Gypsy Wolves will have clothes, because he seems to think, since it's my birthday, he's going to dress in his birthday suit.
Uh-oh.
No, that's not going to happen.
Check the green room first on that one.
No, I'm not checking anything. I'll let you do that.
You need me to check the green room? Yeah,
because I'll be scared. You just can't unsee that, I'm sure. But oh, thank you, Craig. And Nickel, I saw that he went live earlier. I wasn't able to catch that because as soon as I got off with Gypsy Wolves, I ran right upstairs. I was hungry. Hi, Perry Custom Cards. Yes, I need to email you tonight because I'm going to be late on the birthday card that I need you to get out for me. So I need to do that tonight. Perry makes the best cards in the community, and they're amazing. SPB is in the house. Good to see you.
Nicole, welcome.
Yes, I will email you when I get off the stream. First, I'm going to probably go upstairs and get some warm clothes on because I'm freezing. Oh, okay. So you want to get into our topic for the evening? Because I think it's going to be fun. And I think that there's several people that can contribute that in the chat.
I do. I'd like to ask a few questions first before we get started, though.
Okay.
Audience. So the first one is, how many of you have gold? Put a 1 in the chat if you have gold. Put a 2 if you do not have any gold.
Freaking awesome is awesome. He's really
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
All right, we got ones coming in.
Oh, and freaking awesome, and I have the same birthday.
Well, that's
His
freaking
birthday's
awesome.
January 20th as well. Oh, let me see. I just saw oh, who did I see? Oh, Big E. Begotten. Good to see you. And Big Bad John. He is an awesome dude.
We ask him to respond, it goes faster. Okay. So you guys hit that thumbs up as well if you haven't done so already. That'll notify more people we're in here doing this. Okay, so right now I'm seeing one person that does not have any gold. Everybody else does have gold. So that's going to be good for our conversation today. And it'll still be relevant to any of you that don't have gold.
Right there.
The other question I have, Nick, is I got to think how to word this. Okay, before you guys put an answer in, hear me out for a second. So put a 1 in if you have pre-33 gold. Put a 2 in if you have gold bullion. And put a 3.
Yes, it is.
A 3 in if you have fractional gold. If you have all 3 of those, then put 1, 2, 3 in. Okay, go. All right, let's think out here. Uh-oh.
He's so funny. So what were the numbers again?
Okay, so 1 is if they have pre-33 gold. 2 is oh, my nose is itching. 2 is just bullion, and 3 is fractional.
Okay, well, what about all of the above?
Then they put 1, 2, and 3, or 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. The numismatic. Good to see you.
All right, so we got a pretty good mix here. That's good. All right, so I think this is going to be really relevant. Okay, so Nick, tell them what we're going to be talking about today.
Gold confiscation.
Nick wants to confiscate your gold ahead of her
Yes,
birthday.
I don't know why I have a hard time with that word, but I do for some odd reason. Maybe it's because I'm allergic to it.
Oh,
So I'm on my way to getting that $500 note at the Summer Fun Show.
I think that's awesome. I got to see it when you do it. We'll have you back on to show us that. So here's my last question, and then we'll get into some comments here. If you're concerned about a gold confiscation, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not concerned about a gold confiscation, put a 2 in. So
now that I just found I couldn't find it earlier because I had stuff on top of it. But this is Gunny also sent me one of the tokens or coins or from the fun show. And I didn't get to show it earlier. There. It's Florida.
Is it a token or is it a round?
Well, it's a round.
Is it silver?
No, it's just the fun show. It's just fun.
So it's more of like a token, but
yeah, that's what. Yeah,
that's pretty cool looking.
That's really cool, and so that will also go up on what I have being built behind me.
She's gonna have like a shrine.
But I have had so many cool people send me some nice stuff, and I want it to be displayed as it should be, because I do appreciate everything, and I have it all around me, but nobody can see it. So
Gunny says,
this was awesome, Gunny. Thank you.
It's really rare. So I'm hearing flip coin status on this thing.
This is really
rare.
This is really rare too.
Yes.
And so I can't give this one up. No, it's a gift. I don't ever give gifts away or sell gifts ever.
That's a good idea. Unless it's a broken toy from McDonald's, then you can regift it.
A broken one?
Just kidding.
We could say it's rare. It's a broken one.
All right. So here's where we're at, Nick. So for tonight, this is going to be interesting.
Okay.
So I only see one person that's concerned about a gold confiscation. Everybody else does not believe that it's going to happen.
And I fall in, I don't believe it's ever going to happen.
I think there is a high probability that there will be something that looks like a gold confiscation.
Okay.
I know a lot of people don't believe that, but history tells us that they do it.
Okay.
Now, but we're going to get into that today.
Okay, because I have a lot of counter arguments for that. But so you said something that will look like it. What does that
Yes.
mean? Because it's either it's either one or the other. It can't be in the middle.
No, they'll never come take your gold coins. They're never going to do that. That'll never
Okay.
happen.
Okay. So that's what I thought you had meant in the past.
No, they'll never come get your gold coins because they don't know who has gold in their house. They
Okay.
might be able to subpoena records
But
from
they in
online.
33, did they know how much gold was in people's homes? They didn't know in 33 either.
They didn't, but they didn't come confiscate the coins out of your house either.
No, but they did a sort of recall and then they gave you what, 20 some odd dollars per ounce.
Yes.
And then if you did not comply and they found out that you did have it, you could go to, you go to jail.
So I mean, there's a slight chance they'll come and try to take gold, but I don't think it'd be very successful, and I don't think they'd really try it. And the
No,
main reason for that is there's not very many people have it. There's not very much gold that's sitting out there in homes right now.
Oh, see, I disagree. That I think that there's a lot more than we think.
There is, but we're talking 1% of the population that has a gold coin. Now, if you're talking jewelry, that's different, but they did not confiscate gold jewelry before.
Right. But I think we have a lot of rich folks out there that are collecting and stacking as well, and they have a lot more than we have.
I agree too. So here's my thought on the whole thing. I've been reading The Great Taking, and when you look at The Great Taking, it's I've already heard all this stuff years ago. Nothing was new to me that I didn't hear anything new in The Great Taking. Let me put it that way.
Oh, my gold went down in the tragic boating accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So when I look at The Great Taking, our system used to be based on gold and silver. And so if you
Right.
are needing to reset your currency or you're needing to reestablish your country, they're going to take the value out of whatever's trading as currency and as money at the time. And so back then it used to be gold. It used to be silver. You would put it into the banks, right?
Hi, Rocky.
So people would do that stuff. Now, if we get desperate enough in a country, in this country, I could totally see them taking gold out of the depositories that are put into 401ks, into IRAs.
I disagree with that.
They can take it. There's nothing that
Okay,
stops.
they can, but will they? I mean, anything is possible.
Sure, but
Anything.
why would they not? Why would you not take
Because
it?
I don't think that there would be enough money to even bother with to do that. I think they would do it in other means in other easier ways than going.
It's a snap though. They don't have to do. All they have to do is just take it. There's nothing holding them back from taking it.
Well, then that may be one way, but I feel like that they may go into, for example, like Greece and I saw Cyprus. Cyprus, they put a heavy levy on 100,000 euros and over in deposits in their accounts, and they took money out of their accounts. And Greece took money out of their savings accounts. They said, you know what, the country's going bankrupt. You owe us.
Sure, but why would they not do it all? So in The Great Taking, they talk about our system's based on debt today, right, Nick?
It is, because whereas it's different than 33 because we were on the gold standard, and now
Correct.
the Federal Reserve can just print money.
So most likely, if we have a couple scenarios ahead of us. One is we can go into deflation, okay, where we basically continue to have very high interest rates. We go into like a depression, and the cost of things start to go down, including the cost of your commodities like gold and silver go down too. You're going to see cryptos go down in value too. Everything goes down in value. Your metals will not most likely go down in value as much as the overall like dollar does, right? So you still have an advantage. The other scenario is hyperinflation. And if you go into hyperinflation, then we're going to see prices of everything go skyrocketing up. And most likely you'll see gold and silver and cryptos go higher than like house prices or equities. And then oftentimes you have a massive crash. So depending on which one of those scenarios goes into play, Either way, there's not enough money in the system to pay the debt off, and you can't reset the currency until you pay off all the debt. Or you go completely bankrupt, which I don't see them doing. That causes all kinds of other issues. So, to your point, Nick, I think most likely what will happen first is they would come after money that's
Hi,
in
Frankie Stecker and
bank
Joseph.
accounts. If they're going to do a confiscation, they'll come after bank accounts. They'll go after stock brokerage accounts. They'll go after IRAs.
Or they'll just tax us more. I mean, they can just even tax us more.
They can, but if they're going to confiscate, right? Taxing is a confiscation.
But I don't think they are going to be doing. I don't think they're going to do that.
So you don't think there'll be any kind of confiscation at all?
No.
Why?
Because I think that there's easier ways to do it. And I just explained, like
what's hard about a confiscation? What's not easy about it?
What do you? I don't think people would comply.
You don't have to comply.
I just don't think that they're going to.
Problem.
I just don't think that they're going to. I just don't think that that's. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Look,
but I don't. I think there's ways that they could do it that would make us that we would want to conform to, so to speak. That they could convince us that it's our duty.
So they could. So one of the reasons I like to stack physical metals at a location that I only have access to is because that is very, very hard for anybody to confiscate. And it's also in my possession, right? If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Anything you own that it happens to be further away, that anybody else has access to, anything that's digital has the ability to potentially be confiscated. There are laws in place that allow for such things. The Great Taking does address some of those things. Polly Buck brings up too on here, inflation is taxation. And it just is, you're basically, it's a hidden tax that goes on. It's an invisible tax that happens.
And maybe they would confiscate property. Maybe they could do that.
They could confiscate property. So
but then they would come back if you are a lot of debt. If you owed on that property, they could say you don't own this property, so we can take this property. It's not yours.
Exactly. So we know the country's in deep doo-doo, right? We're talking $33 trillion in debt, and then if you add up all of the money that is in IOUs and pension plans and everything else, it's well over 100. I think it's like $150 trillion, something crazy like that. So there's a lot of money there. We know that we don't make enough money in a year or even over several decades to pay it back.
Right.
So,
but to your points, in you have pre-33 gold and you prefer pre-33 gold versus bullion of today because you don't think that the government can take the pre-33. Is what I thought.
That's part of it. I don't only have just pre-33, but so yeah. So let me go through that.
So let's go back. That's what I.
Yeah. So here's the thoughts on that. So, I don't have pre-33 gold because of a confiscation. That's not why I buy it. I buy pre-33 gold because I can buy it for a little bit more than the premium of bullion, like $100 more. When I can do that, I do prefer to buy that. It's history. It has a little bit more numismatic quality to it, right? And oftentimes when the price of gold goes up, those tend to go up quite a bit more with it as well. At least historically.
Oh, thank you, Sergeant Gold.
So I have some of that, definitely, but that's not my only stack. That's not all I have.
Right. But I thought that was one of the benefits of why
it's definitely one of the benefits. It is protected by law. Bullion is not. Bullion is not protected from confiscation by any U.S. law.
What law protects 33?
Let me tell you. It's Order 6556.
And what does that say?
It's an executive order.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, we'll have to get the details of it here.
Is that the law that talks about Right, but what is the law state?
Well, it has, let's see. Do you want me to read it?
Is it talking about collectibles is what I'm wondering. Is
Yes.
it okay,
Yes.
so in that argument, the government really has not defined what a collectible was. So
Well,
really not
I think they
defined.
have defined it. Um, but to your point, look, to your point, it can't yet anything that's in law can be changed. Nothing's
And
safe.
yes, of course, but I do know that there is an argument when it comes to that executive order that they really don't define what a collectible is. So, you know, um,
So it says, so yes, okay, so let me back up first. Nothing's safe. If they want to come after your property, they can take it. If they want to come after your gold and silver, they can take it. If they want to come after all of your savings accounts, investment accounts, they can take it. All of that is subject to being seized. They can
right.
take all your land, right?
But
Everything can
again, on the
happen.
gold though, is when we're talking about the pre-33, it's left to interpretation. That particular,
Totally.
I mean, that's not something that's set in stone that says that
It does
it's
not
just like
say
this.
it does not say if it's graded. It does not say if it is a
It says
specific grade.
collectible. So and
Um,
the government has not clearly defined collectibles, and so there is gray area.
there is some gray area there. Now, a lot of the people that do buy pre-33 are buying it for the collectability of it. The other issue that you run into too is when they did look at this taking stuff away in the past, there was a difference between who was a collector and who had bullion. So people that did have the older coins, so I forget the actual term, but it goes by what's stamped on the coin, right? So if you have a denomination of 50 for a 1 ounce gold coin, it's in the current dispensation of coins right now. If you have a 20 on it, it goes back to being collectible and old. Okay. So back when they
Okay,
weren't, when
okay,
they
come
took
say that
gold,
again now. It's if it's 20 or
right now, pre-33 gold is not in circulation.
okay, right?
Gold eagles
No
are in
gold is,
circulation,
really.
but they're in circulation. They're being minted today. They have the stamp of the $50 on them, right?
Hi, 949.
Back in the day when they were confiscating the 1933, any coin that was older than that current dispensation that was being used as money that had different denominations on it is what they considered to be collectible, and it was not confiscated. So there is some precedence to that. Can anything be changed? Yes, anything can be changed. So if someone, that's why I say if someone's buying pre-33 gold because they feel like it's 100% exempt from confiscation, don't do that because there's no guarantee that that's going to be exempt. A lot of people do buy it for that reason, and a lot of the people that make the rules are people that are probably buying this as well. Some of them do, some of them don't. A lot of your billionaires, your very rich people are buying this because they can stack more value into one coin. They can get the rare coins that are out there. So for me, I actually have a lot of bullion. I have pre-33. I have them for different reasons. I also have um, fractional gold as well. And so I like 10th ounces. I know a lot of people will say don't go with 10th ounces. They're too expensive. But as gold goes up in value, a 10th ounce will be a lot easier to sell than a 1 ounce coin. So I have them for the different reasons. But as far as confiscation
Thank
goes,
you, Perry. Hi, Timothy.
everything is subject to potential confiscation. So, you can live your life in complete fear that everything's going to be confiscated, or you can hedge yourself and have investments in different, in different capacities and put out in different
Yeah,
places.
I just had all these points so on why I felt like the government wouldn't come after our gold. And another
So
one is gold is now traded on the open market all over the world.
that's
You
okay.
know,
So
I mean, so it's trading hands. Like we don't have borders when, so to speak. We can sell it to any country that we want to. We could send it to Switzerland. We can send our gold
so,
here and there.
so Nick, here's the deal. As far as confiscation goes, they're going to confiscate gold if they need the money and they don't have enough from other sources.
They don't have enough from other sources now. I mean,
No, but so here's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm the government and I want to get my new CBDC out there and I want to reset all this stuff. Um, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go after equities, and then I'm going to go after bank accounts. Okay, that's where the easy money is.
I agree with Hampton.
What does Hampton say?
Um, just to buy on the sly, and he says the 1/10 ounce is a smart buy. And I like the 1/10.
I agree on that too. So I only have 1/2 ounce. I've got 1 ounce, and then I've got 1/10 ounces. So there's a question from Polly. So put a 1 in the chat if you're worried about the government taking anything from you guys. So
The government can take anything that they want from us. It's just a
they can
matter
take
of will
anything.
they?
So, but to your point earlier, so here's the deal. What happens if they take everything from every citizen in the country? Nick, what happens? Are people going to just be okay being on the street, or do you think you have a full-on civil war and a revolt?
I think that the Second Amendment would take effect. I
Okay.
think that people would try to overturn the government.
So I honestly don't think you're going to have much of a confiscation until the Second Amendment's gone. When the Second Amendment's gone, all bets are off. They could take whatever they want. You probably won't have land rights anymore. Is that going to happen? I don't know. But if it were to happen, then they definitely have more ability to do it. If they don't do that, and we're able to keep the Second Amendment in place, I think you've got a much higher probability of them doing a confiscation based on debt, which is going to be things like equities, your real estate. But real estate's going to be harder to take than like brokerage account. So it'll probably go after things more like your retirement accounts and stuff like that, if there's a confiscation. So, for me, I don't think that's something to say, don't do a retirement account. I don't think that's something to say, don't do, a gold IRA. I think it's something to just be aware of, that if all your money is away from you and it's all in these accounts, you don't really own the stock. You own the right to that stock. The company that is the brokerage owns the stock per the new laws that are in place. And the Great Taking talks about that.
I'm going to answer this real quick for Ellie, because the 1/10 is more affordable for me. And if I was to resell, it's a lot easier to resell, something just around about that for $250 versus thousands of dollars. It's just makes it easier resale. And it's also, it's fractional. Makes more sense for me. But again, with that being said, I do not spend a lot on premiums either. I shop around and you can find good prices without the high premium.
I agree too. And the caution on 1/10 gold is it ranges pretty drastically depending on where you're buying it from and the time. So, if you can get down to the lower 200s on 1/10 ounce gold, it's pretty good, but you'll see them all of a sudden going up to $300. So they kind of range between 210 to 300. So be very careful when you're looking at pricing for it. Nick, what's your rule of thumb? Is it 15 or?
I do not purchase anything over 15%.
Yeah. So Nick's rule of thumb is just over 15% on the gold.
Silver Wolverine, I knew you always do.
Totally.
No, 15%. I mean, I was seeing premiums up to 20 to 21%, if not more. And I think Silver Wolverine did videos on showing premiums even higher than that. But by shopping around, I was able to find premiums where 11, 12, 13, 14%, 15%, but I wouldn't go over 15. There's the fake deputy.
I agree. So we'll come back to some ideas on gold in a second here, but as far as we'll kind of end the confiscation part of this. Could it happen? Yes, it's possible for it to happen. I don't see them taking everybody's homes. I don't see them going door to door to take gold or silver. I don't see that happening. Things that can happen, just to be watching and look for the news and stuff like that, are going to be they could take money out of the bank accounts that are beyond FDIC insurance. They could take anything they want out of the bank if they really wanted to, but that's going to cause problems, and a lot of people will be upset. They could take retirement accounts. That would also upset a lot of people. They could take gold IRAs, right? Those are things that are easy for them to take.
Yeah.
But there's consequences in doing so.
So if the premiums stay above 15% and not come down, you'll just keep the cash. I have been able to find them 15% and under. I didn't say I wouldn't purchase over. Well, that's my goal, not to go over 15%, and I've been able to stay there. So I would do the best I can.
Would you keep the cash then if it's 20% and it never comes back down to 15%? The premiums are always high.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know. I would have to reassess and I'd have to reassess and determine and go from there. But as of right now, I've been able to purchase 15% or less. So And if that's the case and they go over that and they stay there, well, maybe I'll go make a new goal of 16%. I don't know until that day comes. I don't know.
So Nick, are things within a safe deposit box at a bank safe?
No.
Why?
Well, first of all, I mean, we can even just go as they use chemicals to clean those safety deposit boxes that I wouldn't want my stuff in a safety deposit box.
Okay.
Two, there's bank rules that say that you cannot keep your stuff in a safety deposit box. And a lot of the banks are doing away with safety deposit boxes. There was a bank downtown here that was actually flooded, and you could see the safety deposit boxes floating down the river. So you never know about a natural disaster. And yes,
I
that
understand
really happened.
too, if a bank closes its doors, that whatever's in the safe deposit box can be used as collateral.
I don't know. I don't know because
I don't know where the law is or the rule. I've just heard that.
Yeah, well, I can ask somebody, but safe deposit allows access by someone else besides you. Yes, it can, but a lot of people say their security won't allow it. Like there was one bank that I had to go put my handprint down. And, there's one that I feel like every time I go in there and I go in the safety deposit box, I feel like a criminal because I have to have this person walk me here and then they're going to undo this here. But I don't know of any banks that I personally know of that have shut down that had safety deposit boxes. These particular banks did not, that I personally know. That somebody that was working with some banks that were closing down that hi, coin in the round, good to see you. But they didn't have safety deposit boxes, so I don't know how that works.
So I know
Would you keep your gold in your neighbors? This is a good way to look at it. Yeah. And no, I would not.
So there's the issue with that too. So, like I said, if you don't have it in your possession and you control it, it's at risk. So most of my stuff is in a vault and it's in a safe deposit box, but it's a private one. It is at risk. There's still risk there. But I also have a lot of risk with it being at my house right now. So until my situation changes, that's still
not necessarily. Wait. Not necessarily, because I mean, when you're going down a fast river.
Yeah, probably a lot of movement to get that to move. So Nick, that's stuff that can happen. The other thing that can happen is you can have what's called a windfall tax. So you can have a windfall tax where they basically, let's say gold goes up to $50,000 and they decide, hey, that's too much money for anybody to have. We're going to tax the gold higher. Okay. They can do things like that. And that's going to be more effective on anything that is that you report, right? So everybody might be losing their stuff in a river or a lake if you have things like that. But there's things that can be done like that are confiscatable-ish.
Right, but again, that could be with anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be gold or silver.
Exactly. The other thing that can happen is they can close down all the gold bullion stores and make it so that you have nowhere to sell to get into. The other thing people don't think about is what happens when the CBDC comes. Are you wanting to sell your gold to get CBDC?
No.
So then how do you use your gold to buy a property?
I mean, you could do it through a private sale, peer to peer. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to go through a bank or I have to get a loan. We could make other arrangements with people that are like-minded.
So all of those are kind of risks to be aware of. I don't think there's any one particular one that says, hey, you don't need to be worried about anything. But what concerns me is there's a lot of people in the community that say there's no way there's going to be a gold confiscation. And anytime you say 100% chance nothing's going to happen, I totally question it. So to say there's not going to be a gold confiscation, I don't buy it. I think that there's a high probability that they'll do it if they do a confiscation. But like I said, it doesn't have to be your gold that you have in your house. It could be your depository. They could go after
I think they would do it through taxes and other means. I think that they would just do it through other means. I just don't think that we have enough that would even entice them. I mean, there's not enough even effect enough.
It doesn't take any effort to do it.
And you know, I don't understand why they, you know, there are some states that that have made gold and silver legal tender. Why would they go to great lengths to do that if they felt like that could happen?
I don't know. Why did they ever confiscate anything?
Well, there were reasons in 33. I mean, there are several reasons why they did that in 33, and reasons
What are
that
those
do not
reasons?
apply today. They were
Okay, so
in
what
a
were those
heavy.
reasons? So
One
let
of
me
those
ask
reasons
you,
was
Nick.
deflation. We're in inflation. In 33, they were in deflation, which is
How do we
much
know that's
different.
not going to happen?
And that may be, but right now we're not. We don't have. And you know, the
Sure,
government, will we
seriously,
go into deflation when you have the Fed printing money and printing money and printing money?
but they're
They
not
didn't
doing
do
that
that
right.
back in 33 because we were on the gold standard. So there are
I
different
know.
circumstances that
So so you have no concern whatsoever. You think everything's safe
no, I
except
don't, and
for
I'm not
cost
saying
blocks.
that, but I don't think that I'm not necessarily worried about. I'd be more worried about my property or uh, but not my gold. No, no, not as much. I mean, I think that it could be all in play, but I'm just saying there are different reasons from 33 to today of why that would work and why it wouldn't work today. And it didn't
So
work back then either because Roosevelt had said, you know, they were in national debt as well. And he was supposed to stop writing checks, but I mean, we went more and more in debt where he promised we were going to go into more debt when he um, took 33, pre 33 gold.
so I'm curious. It sounds like no one's worried, which is interesting to me. I for one will never do a depository 401k. I'm not doing it,
No,
or
I won't
IRA.
either,
I'm not
but a
going to
lot
do
of
it because
people,
I like to hold it. I don't want to have it potentially be confiscated, and I do think that is a real potential that could happen. I don't think it's very hard for them. There's only a handful of depositories that are out there, and it's not too hard for them to potentially get a hand of it. I think there's a lot of people that are concerned about that. Otherwise, why would you take any distributions when you are not forced
hi,
to when you
Dan.
hit retirement age?
Well, I feel like
Keep it
that
out.
people are worried about their 401k period in the stock market. So
Yeah.
um, I think it goes beyond that. I just think that when that's why
Well, that's a
people are
different that,
taking
but that's a
them.
whole different thing. So it, I agree. If you think there's no chance that they could confiscate your gold, whether it's in your house, whether it's a stock, like you have a gold mining stock, whether you have it in a depository, then I don't think it's anything you need to worry about. I would just keep it wherever you feel is the safest to keep it. If you are concerned about some of the confiscation that can happen or has happened in the past, my recommendation is to have stuff close by hand. Now, not financial advice, it's just my recommendation for me.
I think that
I
anything
like
that
to
has
have it
been
at
tracked
hand.
by the government is in play. I think that anything that has been um, but all of it's in play. Not one more than the other. Everything is in play, especially if it's
Totally,
been tracked
totally.
by the government.
Yeah, I would not argue that. I think they'll go after debt stuff first. But they have done confiscations in the past, so it is something that could happen again.
Okay, so what else have they done? So the pre 33 gold
What do you mean? They
or gold.
confiscated silver in 1934.
Okay, 34. But since, I mean, here in recently, because 34, you're still having the same issues as you did with the
Well, no,
gold.
because after that, then you weren't allowed to have very much of it. You couldn't really do anything with it. You had to just hold it. And so it wasn't until Nixon brought us back onto, well, it wasn't Nixon, it was in the 50s. So it was
Well,
like
yeah, Nixon
54
took
or
us
so that they
off the
brought us
gold
back on the gold
standard.
standard. And then Nixon took us off of the gold standard, which then allowed it to people to hold coins again, excuse me, bullion, and they started producing it again. But um, it's one of those things that I look at the different possibilities that are out there, and I kind of hedge my bet on a few things. So, there's no, if you have a paid off house, there's not 100% guarantee that you'll be okay. Property taxes could go up to $1 million. I mean, they could do stupid things to make it to where people lose stuff. So at the end of the day, nothing's exactly exempt from it. But to your point, Nick, I think certain things are going to be easier. And then I think certain things will be harder for them to go after. So one of the things that's going to be really hard to go after is physical gold in your possession and silver. Another thing that's going to be really hard to go after is going to be personal property that's paid off that has no liens or debt on it. Same with vehicles. Everything's subject. I mean, crap, if you go into full like communism or fascism, they come and take all of your stuff anyway. You don't get to own anything. Can they confiscate freedom? Yeah, I'd say they've already started doing that.
Well,
But
and I think that they're doing it in ways too that they're hiding, from the American public, like the new gun laws. I mean, they're trying to take our guns in different ways, almost like manipulation by changing the laws. It's the law-abiding citizens
I agree. So
that
here's a comment. So this whole show is not about fear or freaking you guys out or anything like that. It's just more of a dialogue of, how do you get best prepared for things? So, for me, right now, the way the laws are written, it depends on the interpretation, Nick, but there is some precedence around it. Your more old gold and silver that is considered collectible has the best chance of surviving based on the law. Now, most people, including Tiger, because I've talked to him about it too, do not believe that that's even safe and it's going to make any difference. And they may be right. And so if that's the case, definitely don't overpay for things like pre-33 gold unless you're doing it from an investment standpoint and you're hoping the value is going to go up. But if you're just doing it for confiscation, I definitely would be very, weary of that. Let's see. Yeah, so California has stupid gun laws. We have crazy gun laws here. You can't even get ammunition. You can't get guns. It takes forever to get them. And then if you get a concealed carry permit here, then you have the Attorney General just releases your name on a big list to the public and includes your home address as well as your service weapon and your name and phone number. So that's beautiful. So California doesn't always pass the craziest laws. Sometimes they just blatantly release information, which is bad. So yeah, I would say freedoms are definitely a big risk. You've got freedom of free speech too. A lot of times putting comments on social media platforms, especially on Instagram and Facebook, they get blocked more than any of the other services. So you definitely have that issue as well.
Hi, long-lived coins.
So the other thing I wanted to say, going back to the gold we were talking about a little earlier on the 1/10 ounce. If we do go into hyperinflation, Nick, I think the 1/10 ounce is going to be a smart move. Let's say gold goes up to $5,000 an ounce, or let's say it goes up to $10,000 an ounce down the road. If the laws don't change, you have reporting. If you want to sell that to a LCS, you have to now report that to IRS. It's a $10,000 transaction. So, 10th ounces are going to keep you away from stuff like that. And at least right now, if you go to sell a 10th ounce, you usually get a little better. You get better than spot. At least that's been my experience. Yeah, so you can't legally own them here. Some people are grandfathered in, other people just have them.
And how do they know who's grandfathered in and who's not grandfathered in?
I don't know. But, if you get caught with one, you're usually going to lose it and you might have to pay a cash fine.
But they are trying to, they're trying to take those away and ban them.
They are. And so
that's in a lot of states, not just California.
What we're seeing in the States too, though, it's kind of like the whole thing with gold too. You've got some states that are bringing gold and silver back as money.
Yes.
And recognizing it as something you can use to pay debts and property tax, right? Utah, Texas, and there's a handful.
Yeah, and I think Kentucky has just signed legislation recently. I know the legislation was brought up in my state this past summer, but they decided that they wouldn't pass it, but because they felt like $225,000 in tax revenue was worth more than making the citizens of Maine happy.
Totally. And then with with guns, you have states that do things like concealed carry, then you have open carry, and then you have
constitutional state. Yeah. Carry state.
So you've got a couple different states that do different options out there. And the crazy thing is most of the weapons that are being used in these shootings are not purchased legally anyway. You know, they
No,
get
and for the
on the
shooting that
way.
was in my state, they are actually prosecuting several people because this was reported several times that they knew that he had threatened to do what he was going to do. So it fell through the cracks on several different or the cops, the military, even the doctors. So they are going to hold somebody accountable for the shooting, even though that they weren't the shooters, because they could have prevented it. And so I'm glad my state's doing that. But every time you do have a shooting somewhere, they want to take your guns. But it's the law-abiding citizens that I believe.
Yeah, I agree. So I think what I will say is I think the Second Amendment
Good night,
protects
druggy
them from
superstar.
I think the Second Amendment protects confiscation of anything at the local level, meaning if you have a paid off house, cars, and you've got money or precious metals in your house, I have a really hard time seeing anybody confiscating that as long as the Second Amendment's in place.
Uh,
Um, I
and,
just don't
and
think it happened.
and I really find it hard to believe that if I had my property paid off, if the government wants my property, the government can take my property whether I owe on it or not. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I think it's levels and stages, right? If you have a debt that's on there. So, for example, here in California, my house has doubled in value, but my property taxes only went up by 1%. And that's because we have a law in place that makes it so it can't go up more than 1%. But that law could be taken away. And if that
Um,
were to be taken away, my property taxes would double overnight.
yeah. Silver Heist, he's going to be put back on the ballot. She has no, yeah, she's going to be put back on the ballot. I believe there was a couple other states that tried to do that as well. And it didn't, and he was put back on the ballot. This person in the state of Maine has an agenda, and she has found that the Mainers, whether it be anybody taken off the ballot, they don't care for at all because um, no, they're not standing for it here in Maine. And she won't be. She wants to run for governor is what she wants to do, and she think that's her avenue to get her there.
So Barbara says the IRS cannot do it. I don't think the
Hi,
IRS
Azure.
can do it. However, I believe there's some weird, funky laws that have been put in place with the central banks and debt. I don't have the information in front of me, but I do believe there's some weird back things if the U.S. government completely defaults on its debt. There's some issues with land, but like with anything, the moment that they start taking land that people own free and clear, that's like a new country
Mm.
starting over. That's not going to be. That's not something you recover from as a government. So Steve Woods, his grandma took his grandma's property. So they do have eminent domain. They have the right to put a road through your property or to do something else with it. But they're supposed to
But
pay
they
you
don't they
for
have to offer you fair market value for that
market.
property?
They're supposed to, but you can get into differences with appraisals and stuff like that. So it's going
So
to
we
be
had a
fair
home up
market.
here that they wanted to put a road on, and so the guy's like, I don't want to sell my home. I want to stay right here. So the city actually paid for him to have his house moved back several inches. So
Oh my
he's
God.
right there, and I'm like, why wouldn't you just take the money? And but
I
no,
would
he
have
did.
taken the money. But I had
They
to believe
actually
right too.
literally moved his home and moved.
I think there's less than 1% chance, maybe even a fraction of a percent chance that the US will default on its debt. Right now we can just print more money, we'll go into hyperinflation. So, can things be taken? Can crazy things happen? Yes, they can. How do you best prepare for it? Like with anything, it's like, how do you prepare if the grocery stores go barren, right? You have food and water at your home. So keep some metals close by, get out of debt. Um, and
Oh,
when you're investing, make sure you're investing with
they
good
took the land for
companies,
95.
and then don't worry about it. I don't think anybody should have fear over any of this stuff. I think you just get prepared and you're in good shape.
So they took his land for the 95. Now, Did they pay you? Did they offer you fair market value? How did that work?
We are not planning to overthrow Steve Woods, no.
I might.
And then Ellie reminds us to pay our taxes. So if you don't pay your taxes, you can definitely get into trouble.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know a lot of us don't want to be paying it, or we feel like it's too much, or
That's
they're
what I
not
thought.
right.
That's
So
what I thought. So he says yes and no. So I'm sure there's something to that story.
yeah, that's interesting.
You'll stand, but you're in Canada. Oh, they gave us $100 for 20. What? What? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It's time we Boston Tea Party this.
Here's another thing too, guys. Like I hear a lot of stuff on social media around accountants that come on and talk to you about things. You know, you hear this conversation around pay your fair share. That's a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a fair share of anything. The tax code's written in a certain way. So if you want to take advantage of it, you know, there's things you can do to structure your business in a certain way
That's the truth. That is the truth. Jeez, I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. As you're blue, you'll have a tax lien, and then your property is going to go to someone else for a great deal.
So I got off work early today, but as I was leaving work, I had a woman stop me and she says, "Do you know this building?" And I said, "Yes, I do know this building." And she says, "Can you please point me to the IRS?" And we have the IRS is down the hall from me. So I said, "Sure, I'll bring you by there." And so she looked at the door and there was a sign on that says IRS, nobody's in because due to shortage on staff. But what people, they are never there. I never see the people that work. I don't know who the people at the IRS are because they're never
I've got
there.
a friend that hasn't paid his taxes in 2 years, and they haven't done anything to him. They haven't even.
Well, they'll catch up with him. I'm sure they'll catch up with him. But I
sent a
was
letter, and I told him,
I'm like,
be careful.
where are the IRS people? Because people do need help with their with their taxes and stuff, but they are never in the office ever. And it has that same sign due to staffing. But she was just like, because that was her issue. She's like, I've been here 2 or 3 times. I need help doing this. And I call and I'm on the phone with the IRS, on hold for several hours before she hangs up. The IRS skipped, maybe they forgot to pay their taxes as well. But I know it can be frustrating, but it can be
totally frustrating. So don't believe everything you hear out there, from a lot of these gurus that tell you how to avoid stuff. Don't try to hide your taxes. That doesn't go over very well.
Oh no, pay your taxes. Yeah.
Pay the taxes. If you don't like the taxes, vote different people in. The other thing you can do is you can play the game. So set up an LLC, set up a side business. And, there's a lot of things you can do with that help your business. So if you're a plumber and you buy a truck.
You better, because it'll be a standoff. And that's one thing I don't do either is in our paychecks, we do not overpay. We do not get a refund at the end of the year because I'm not going to overpay on my paycheck to the IRS. They don't, until they pay interest, I'm not overpaying.
Do you ever get fined for not paying enough?
Yeah, at the end of the year, if I don't pay enough, then I have to pay them. I owe them instead of them owe me. But
do you ever get penalties, I should say?
Oh, no, because you pay your taxes at the end of the year. So, and you have it payroll deducted. So it's taken out a little bit. So, no, I have the exact.
For those that do not have payroll that are self-employed, you got to make sure you do your quarterly payments.
Yeah.
You will get hit with fees and fines.
But, so yeah, I paid the amount that's going to leave me at the end of the year. They do not owe me anything and I do not owe them anything. And when they start paying interest, then I'll overpay.
Yep.
and my
That's
paycheck every
much
2
easier
weeks.
to do with W-2 than it is, I think, self-employment. But
Oh, yes, but I'm not self-employed,
yeah,
so
so
neither
that's
is my husband, but
so this is true too. If you hear I'm from the government, I'm here to help run.
now I think those were some, I think that was a quote of Ronald Reagan. I think it was 9 famous words that he said,
Yep.
and, "I'm the government and I'm here to help you." Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a speech. I've listened to the speech a few times.
Oh
It's
my gosh, Reaganomics, and then Oliver North, so nothing's perfect.
so Nichols got a cash business here. So um, maybe he doesn't make any
Well,
money.
there are a lot of cash businesses, think about it. Dope is a
There's
cash
a
business,
lot of
so,
cash businesses, and a
yes,
lot of the cash businesses. Uh,
states that legalize marijuana,
yeah, but
they're
a lot
all
of the
cash
cash
businesses.
businesses have a hard time paying taxes to survive, and so you have a lot of stuff going under the table too.
Yeah, well, they all are cash businesses because it's legal in the state, but federally illegal, so
Exactly.
go figure.
And then the guy on the corner, he doesn't pay his taxes, I'm pretty sure. The guy that's trading the stuff for cash. So
Well, and I now that he's closed and, gosh, I hope Jim isn't watching because I get to go see him every once in a while, but, he's 90, he was my local coin store owner, and when I would pay for something, of course, he would take credit cards, but he really frowned upon, and then, of course, you had to pay the extra fees, but when I did pay him in cash, it went straight to his wallet, he made the change out of his wallet. It didn't go to a register or cash box or anything like that, straight to the wallet, and he made change. Oh, Jim was awesome.
so Nick, I do have
Okay.
I can throw some links in for people afterwards if they want to go over some of the links that I found for tonight too. So let me know if you want to add any of that stuff in.
What stuff?
Just any of the links on confiscation, we can add those down in the
Oh, I can add some of my research, but a lot of it, yeah. Okay.
There are no poor
Hi,
jewelers.
Doctor Who. You know, this is funny.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue. That that's just a general issue. If we go full digital and there's no more cash at all, um, a handful of businesses are going to have to really restructure how they do things. So this is a real concern for shops. I've got a shop down here that won't take cash and they won't give cash anymore. Everything's done via check only.
Name the okay, let's see. Whoops, wrong one. Name the Beatles. John Lennon.
I don't think John Lennon liked anything that had to do with
No.
the government.
What? Yeah. Well, he didn't. Yeah, I saw a documentary on him the other day.
Let's see.
Yeah. Ringo. Was it Ringo?
Did we get an answer? I don't know.
And
Oh, Ringo.
he was a communist. Which one?
I thought Lennon was a communist, but
I don't know if Lennon even knows what he was.
yeah, he's just kind of all over the place. But
Yeah.
So I think, one of the things I think too out there is with any of this stuff.
That's a good point. George Harrison did not like 90% tax.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I don't think I would either.
Oh, that's funny.
They say it's funny if you do carry cash and you use cash, you'll see how much money you really spend. It's so easy to go, with that check card here, here, and here. You don't really see it leaving as fast as you do when you have cash in your pocket.
You spend, I did a video a long time ago. You spend 18% more when you use a credit card than using cash.
No, and I'm not here. We're just here to debate and to say what if. I don't believe this is going to be happening anytime soon, but I think it's always good to prepare for stuff, no matter what it is. Be prepared. But I'm not fearful whatsoever. No,
I'm not
I
feel
don't
for
have
it.
any
So
fear.
yeah, I'm not fearful either. I think, for me, it's just place your bets on stuff. Like for me, I don't see the purpose of doing like a gold IRA for myself. I'm 47. I think we're going to have more SHTF type situations before then. So I'd rather hold it. But Nick, I have a question for you though. Would you, uh, would you have any hesitation on holding different kinds of foreign gold? Do you only collect US gold or do you also collect foreign gold?
Foreign gold, as in like Spanish gold or
Anything outside the
sovereign,
US? Yeah.
anything else? Yeah, I
Bulls.
have some. Yeah. I don't always just buy American Gold Eagles.
Okay.
If it's cheaper elsewhere, gold is gold.
Yep.
I don't necessarily have to buy American Gold Eagles. That's what I prefer. That's what I like. Um, but yeah, I have some Spanish and some other things, but I prefer American Gold Eagles.
Okay. I've got Eagles, but I prefer the Buffaloes. Those are my favorite.
Well, I'm not buying 1 ounce, so those don't come in fractional either. So
When I buy
yeah,
1 ounce, I
yeah.
prefer the
So I'm
Buffalo.
buying 1/10 American Gold Eagles, and that's also what I was talking about, the 15% premium, because you can find, others that are less in premium, but that was I was talking when I was talking about the 15%, over the 15%, I was talking about the American Gold Eagles.
And on 1 ounce, I would pay below 5%. I usually can get between 4 and 5% on a 1 ounce.
Yeah, yeah. Like, as I told Silver Heist when we were talking about the chalkboard, I don't do the formula with the 1 ounce because I'm not buying the 1 ounces. So I make sure I watch Heist and see all the 1 ounce, the half hour, and so on and so on. But yes, I could probably do it on the one, but I'm just doing the 1/10. And it does accumulate fast if you have a goal. And I'll just take bottles back. And buy some. Hey, there are some convenient ways if you want to save some money and buy metals with it. Chimpy, good
Definitely.
to see
So
you.
Nick, how do you deal with the sales tax in Maine when you're buying 1/10 ounce?
Um, I have not been purchasing it through an online bullion dealer. I've been purchasing it peer to peer in private sales, and then I don't have to pay the I do pay my Maine state taxes, Maine.
I'd have to look it up. My guess is they were only taking US coins because that's what they had the right to take. But I'd have to double look at it. But I've got a bunch of links that go into the confiscation. If anybody wants
I
to.
wonder if a lot have had British gold back then, and maybe so.
They might have had some after World War One, possibly, but I don't
I
know.
concur. I concur. No, just teasing. I'm teasing. I know. I do. Yeah, I pay all of. You're right, Azure Blue, but it is what it is. If they came back and said, you got to pay, I got to pay. I mean, there's nothing
Well, the crazy, the one thing I do have a hard time with the taxes, I pay it, but uh, the reason gold and silver goes up is due to inflation. It's
Now,
not
this
due
is a good
to
question. Do you pay
the
taxes on your income from recycling? No. And the reason being is because if you look on your bottles and you'll see, I think Massachusetts has one, Maine has one, Michigan, I've seen, maybe California, a 5 cents deposit when you purchase a soda here in Maine or a bottled water. So I am paying a deposit on that. So a 6 pack is going to be 5 cents on each one. And then so I hold them. And then when I return them, I get my 5 cents deposit back to me. So in reality, no, I'm not making any money off of them, except especially when my daughter played softball and all the girls are here drinking all these Gatorades and stuff. Yeah, I was making some jack because they were bringing them over my house. And I'm like, put them in the bottle return right there.
you still like, they've gotten rid of almost all the recycling centers locally. We can't do it anymore. Even
Well,
though
it's not a
we-
recycling center. It's a redemption center. It's a
no,
bottle
they got rid of
redemption
them all,
center.
pretty much. They're
Really,
gone.
you can't. If the state of California says you have to pay a deposit on bottles, and you are made to pay that, and they're
They're
taking
really
away the
hard to
redemption
find,
center.
and it's a pain in the butt to deal with, so no one does it.
Oh,
Everybody just throws everything
oh,
away.
well, I'll tell you what. Hi, Desk Logic. I'll tell you what. I am, and I love it when I go to New Hampshire because I don't have to pay a deposit on my bottles in New Hampshire, but I do have a garbage bag and I take them and I bring them back to Maine with me and then I cash those in. So I
So
just
what you
made
see
five
is
cents.
people on bikes with bags. So it's the way a lot of the homeless people are making money.
But so no, I don't have to on that. But I will say again, I'm not going to take like just a garbage bag full of bottles back to the redemption center. It's not worth it. So
Yep.
I make sure I have
So,
at least
so just
1,000.
we do have centers. They're closing a lot of them down though. They're just getting harder to
10
find,
cents for you. Oh my
and they're not as
God.
convenient as they
Look at
used to
freaking
be.
awesome. How does he do this?
I don't know what he's doing. He's
That's
like
so cool.
crazy.
He's really freaking awesome though. I mean, that's awesome. Shippy, 10 cents. So that means you have to pay 10 cents extra on each bottle or can. Huh.
Yep.
Wow. Well, about this, that I meet the state of Maine, every time I go to the grocery store, if I don't bring one of my bags with me, and those are nasty. I'm not using a reusable bag to get my groceries in because you think about meats and stuff. That's gross. I'm not doing it. So I'm not going to spend money buying them every time I go there for $1 or $2 for the reusable bags. So they charge me 5 cents for a bag each time that they bag things for me. And we're not even using plastic. We're back to paper. I don't know
Yeah,
what the tree
we're
huggers are
10
thinking.
cents per bag, and it's really thick plastic bags or paper.
Yeah, but you think about that. How many bags I see on the side of the road in landfills, those cloth bags that people are throwing away. You can't tell me that's any better than plastic in the landfill. You
No,
can't. You won't
it's all
convince me.
just messed up. None of it helps the environment.
That's cuckoo.
Even the thick bags, people are just throwing those away after a single use too.
Right. So it makes no sense. But I have to spend 5 cents a bag when I go to the grocery store.
Yeah, we're up
So
to 10.
California charges a deposit, but makes it hard to redeem the deposit.
So
That
Nick,
is not
I've got to call it a night. I've got to run
Yes.
to a family thing.
How to take nickel cans and get 10 cents. Okay, let's just come on, friends, please. That's so awesome. Well, it's a good conversation, and I think it's just fun to debate it and talk about it and just kind of look at every angle. So I think that was fun. Yes, but you know what? People are buying those, we'll say, in Walmart bags, and they are using them for single use as well, and they're throwing them in the garbage. So the plastic bags, I could tell you right now that they have more recyclables with the plastic bags, and they take them in store and they can recycle them in store, whereas those cloth bags are not. So I just don't see how those are benefiting the landfill. It's not. And plus, I do recycle mine too because I use them as trash bags in my little garbage cans in the bathroom. So when those went away, I had to buy other garbage bags. I mean, and I was recycling those. I was using them for my groceries, then I came and put them in the trash as my trash bag. So see, twice I used it.
Totally. Well, Nick, I've got to run.
I do too. Thank you guys for joining us. And I hope you guys, Saturday, 8 p.m., Surfers Channel.
It'll be fun. We're gonna have a huge party right after that as well.
Yes. And then a party, 9 p.m., my channel. So thank you for joining us. Goodbye,
Thank you, guys.
Surfer. See ya.
Thank you, Nick. Bye bye.
Bye.